It's drilled to left field. Is it high enough? See ya! A walk-off grand slam, and the Yankees win.
And he drives one to right field over toward the line. Long run for Laureano, and he runs it, and the Mets win the ball game.
Episode 65 of The Burrows. Kevin Monk, Michael Merlo coming to you every week, multiple times a week, discussing Major League Baseball, New York Baseball for BTO Media. All-Star games in the books. If you want to see our first half episode, you got to go back to Monday for it. We did a first half Home Run Derby Day episode, talked a little All-Star game there. We had a great All-Star game this week. A lot of stuff to discuss, including trade deadline, what we want to see from the Yankees and Mets in the second half. But I have one point I just want to start the show on and get your thoughts. The last few days with the day off, I've been evaluating the league, looking through what I think we should talk about today, what I think about the second half. And I want to see if you agree with this. The league feels incredibly wide open. The race for the World Series, I think, is so much more open than we had expected it would be before the season started, early in the season. I don't think there's that one team that I'm looking at and saying, gosh, they're just going to be impossible to beat. It doesn't feel like the Dodgers are that team this year. And I look through the amount of teams that I think should be trying to contend this year, and I came away with 16 of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball I think should have a mindset of trying to make a run. Is that crazy?
That's a lot of teams. That is certainly a lot of teams, especially when, you're going to have probably more of those teams trying to buy at the deadline. You're going to have, we've seen it now over the past few years. You've had teams not wanting to sell, thinking they have a chance at making the postseason. And for the teams that are contending, that hurts. And we had talked about it last week that maybe you move the trade deadline back a couple of weeks. I'm going to count right now and see if I'm in with you. But I think my number is going to be a lot lower than yours.
Okay.
So, can I name the teams?
Yeah, I can even run through my 16 if you want me to, if that makes it easier, and you just tell me yes or no on a lot of them.
Okay.
I think and I'm doing this from the perspective of the organization.
Okay.
What they should be doing. All four teams in the AL East besides Baltimore.
Okay.
Should be looking, or at least to not sell,
Yeah.
Only the Tigers in the Central.
Agreed.
And I'm going to say Houston and Seattle in the West.
I want to say no to Seattle, but their pitching staff's still too good. And they're currently in a playoff spot right now. I don't think they're for real, but okay, you have to say Seattle, they're in a playoff spot.
And then in the National League, I have 9 teams. Phillies and Mets in the East, definitely.
Okay.
I have 4 in the Central. This is where you're going to disagree with me. Cubs, Brewers, Cardinals, Reds. I don't think any of these teams should be looking to sell, and I think 3 of them should probably be looking to add.
The Reds need to sell. The Reds, absolutely. They're 2.5 games back. If I was the Cardinals and I got the right offer, I think I would sell. You're only a game and a half back if you're St. Louis. I'm only going to say Chicago and Milwaukee that they have to buy.
And then you're going to say yes to the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants.
Yes, and a hard no on the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks, I'm a no also. So that's,
by the way,
14 teams for you.
You see the asking prices for Gallen and a couple of these other guys
here? Yeah,
here?
I don't know how to judge those reports because I think they're true for sure. But I think maybe it's just we're 2 weeks out from the deadline and they're going to start at the highest possible return is an asking price, and then they're going to come down. I don't think Suarez is even going to garner a top prospect.
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't think Gallen is, because everything about Gallen's season this year tells you he is not the same pitcher, and he's not even close to where he was.
Well, it's Gallen and Sandy I look at in the same light. Sandy's even worse, but
Sandy's in a much worse.
The two of them, you look at their analytics, anything advanced about them to try and justify acquiring them, and they're both just bad.
Everything tells you absolutely not, stay away. I don't even think the pitching labs of the Brewers or the Yankees or the Mets could fix them at this point.
With Suarez, the reason I think he might not get the return Arizona wants is I'm just this week trying to look through teams that I think will view Suarez as a player who gets them to a World Series, teams that are actually going to be desperate to acquire him. And I don't think there's going to be that many teams who are willing to mortgage a big future piece for a couple months of Suarez, where you're going to get bad defense. You're not going to get any addition on the base paths. And if he does not hit home runs, then if he goes into a slump for 6 weeks, that's a brutal trade for you.
Yeah, it's just I think there are enough teams, and especially with the lack of sellers, I think there's going to be enough teams, and maybe the Yankees are one of those clubs that steps up. Not necessarily a top prospect, but I don't think they're going to get a bad return here. It may not what they are expecting right now, but I think they're going to get something for him, because you might have that desperate team in a couple of weeks that hasn't figured out third base, whether they tried things internally, trying other trades. I think it's going to be I think the Yankees are actually going to step up and grab him. I didn't think so about a week ago, but I think the Yankees are going to be that team that steps up.
With the Yankees, we're going to talk a little bit here about Yankees and Mets, just expectations and what we think for the second half, little deadline fits and everything. But the Yankees, I think Brian Cashman has to be looking at this, and this is not just because they've had a few days off and I'm getting soft on the Yankees and I'm starting to think, oh, they're back and everything. They have the second best run differential in all of baseball at plus 111. You're sitting in second place to a team that's got a plus 17 run differential. I understand what goes into run differential and why it's not a great stat a lot of the times to judge teams, but you cannot possibly sit there as Brian Cashman and say, not only can we easily win the AL East with a big deadline, but I think we could run through this league again with a big deadline. So maybe it's Suarez is the ad. I think Seth Lugo is going to be in play at this deadline. I think that any bullpen arms will be. So they are going to have a big deadline here, I think. I'd be shocked if they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Detroit. I think if Detroit makes the moves they have to make, I think it's their league to lose.
I agree with that.
I don't think this Yankee team is in need of a starting pitcher. I don't think that's going to end up being a need here.
I think they're going to need one because I still don't think you can count on Heel I know he's starting the rehab now, but I don't think they can count on Heel for big innings the rest of the season. Because the last thing you want is to be sitting here on September 1st in the division race, in a race for a first round bye, and saying, gosh, Heel only lasted 3 weeks for us, and we didn't get a deadline arm because we expect, like, Lugo's probably too rich, right? But they are going to be knocking on the doors of all of these starters available because they just need an extra guy. They do.
Well, I think also, and we'll talk about this too, the bullpen's going to be a massive place where they have to upgrade. I mean, they're going to have to upgrade the bullpen a little bit. And the Yankees are good at finding relievers. They're good at not only trading for, a bigger name and bringing them in, but they're also good at finding guys and developing them mid-season. We saw it last season a little bit with Leiter. We've seen it with Clay Holmes. I think that's also a couple of those moves into this bullpen they're going to need.
Like, where's my, Chicago White Sox reliever or Pirates reliever who's got the 4.80 ERA and the baseball savant page is just red?
How about Dennis Santana? How about Dennis Santana?
Yeah, Santana would probably be one of those guys.
Bring him home.
I don't want him again because I didn't like him.
Well, he's reformed now. He's good.
So they have a lot of decisions to make at the deadline, and there's so many guys available. But to our points, well, I mean, whether you want to say my 16-team list is accurate or your 14-team list is more accurate, that's a lot of teams. Yeah, you're 14. That's a lot of teams that are going to be looking to buy. So the prices are going to be high. It's a big-time seller's market, which is why you got to look at the Centrals in both leagues and just say,
sell.
Especially the AL Central, Minnesota, Kansas City, Cleveland, you got to be selling. You have to be. Clase is definitely gone at this deadline, I think.
Kwan might be gone.
Kwan could be gone. Clase's got Dodger written all over it.
I know. I keep seeing that too. I saw yesterday Kwan and Clase to the Dodgers.
Yeah. It would just make too much sense, but the Dodgers are going to be big on this deadline.
Is it not insane that they spent, I read this article from Ken Rosenthal this morning, and they had spent $100 million or something like that on relievers this offseason, and they need to go out there and trade for big relievers. Is that not insane?
That did not work out for them at all.
Tanner Scott has not been good. A couple of guys to injury. I know they're getting Kopech back, and I think Trianon's coming back, but they lost Evan Phillips for the year. Unbelievable.
And Scott was almost like a 2-for-1. You got him away from San Diego, and you got him. He's the Ohtani stopper and everything. So
that was a slap in the face. That was a slap in the face signing. I remember when that happened.
And you already won the World Series, so the risk is so low on making that move, but he's been awful.
No, awful. And Kirby Yates hasn't been good, or he's been hurt, I think, as well. They signed him.
So many starting pitching injuries, too. That's why I don't look at the Dodgers and say, while they have a far better roster than everybody else, and probably after the deadline we'll feel even stronger about that, I don't look at them and say I expect them to be healthy or expect them to pitch in the playoffs this year.
No, I mean, the only thing is they didn't have anybody healthy last season, and they really had nobody to pitch, and then they won the World Series. So,
and offensively, they feel a little worse this year, too. I don't know any exact numbers, but
Betts isn't the same player.
Yeah, without Betts,
Pages has really stepped up and become a really nice player.
And Smith's having a career year.
Yeah, he's sitting 320. But you have Conforto on that lineup at the moment, and he's one of the worst qualified hitters in the league.
They're gonna have to replace that.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will get a left fielder as well.
Yeah, Dodgers are in a good spot. When we get closer here with the Mets now, I mean, we've had so many different back and forth conversations. I feel like every episode we've kind of changed on, do they need a bat? Do they need an arm? Do they need to go bullpen, starting pitching? Like, where do they need to go? Where are you right now? Who are the guys that you're really circling for the Mets? Because I don't think the big obvious names like Suarez are the Mets' angle at this deadline.
No, there's not. There's one name very specific that I would tell you I want. Gregory Soto from Baltimore. Left-handed relievers, got good stuff. He's pitched in high leverage situations before. That would be my number one target. You need a lefty in that bullpen and somebody you can rely on. We've seen it way too many times over the past. I mean, literally last week, where they did not have a lefty to go to in that bullpen. I would get a left-handed reliever, and they need a bat. They need a center fielder. I just don't know if that guy is there. Do you send a trade Cedric Mullins and Gregory Soto together? How much of an upgrade is Cedric Mullins when he's worse defensively in center field than you have, but he's a little bit of an upgrade offensively? Is it worth it? That's the question I would pose to you.
Who are the untouchable guys for you with the Mets other than the obvious starters? And like, who are the fringe players and prospects that you would not want them to get rid of here? Because for me with the Yankees, it's only Lombard. It's it's not Spencer Jones. It's not even Trent Grisham. Who are the guys for you with the Mets that you wouldn't want them to get rid of at all?
Jonah Tong would be one of them. The starting pitcher. He pitched in the Futures game this past week. Noah McLean. He was the guy that was the two-way player, now full-time pitcher. He's been unbelievable. And their first-round pick from last year, Carson Benj, outfielder, is already in Double-A. Small, lean kid, but has a lot of pop. I think he's going to be a stud. Those are the only, and I'll throw Jet Williams in there just because of positional need, but I actually don't think he's untouchable, but I do think he's the future center fielder.
And with Jet too, I just feel like it's not, and with a couple of the guys you named, it might not be a deadline to move one of those guys anyways.
Yeah,
so
100%.
If this was 3 years ago and Soto was available, then you'd say, we can move Jet Williams, but
like when Crochet was available this past offseason and the rumor was it was Jet Williams and Brandon Sprout who had broke onto the scene last year, I was like, all right, that's a lot, but I think I'm willing to do it for Crochet.
Yeah.
There's not that guy that I think is going to be available. We think is going to be available where you move him.
Yeah, because Suarez, I think, is unanimously the best player that could get moved at this deadline, the most impactful player that could get moved, and he's not worth Jet Williams in the slightest. So,
no.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not your future starting center fielder.
How about with Beatty, Mauricio, Vientos? Would you move any of them?
I probably would hold on to Vientos. I would not give up on him just yet, as much as we've talked about him. Beatty, as much as I love Beatty, that's coming up next week, Brett Beatty Day. I mean, that is just it doesn't get bigger than that. I mean, David Wright's retirement comes close, but it really doesn't get bigger than that. I would move Beatty. I'd move Beatty, and I would move Mauricio for the right move. Yeah, I don't think they're untouchable. I would not give up on Vientos, though.
In a second, we're going to get into, I want to know if you have any disappointments or surprises from the first half with the teams, and we'll discuss that. But we spoke about it before the show that we wanted to discuss it quick. Does Francisco Lindor get named Mets captain this weekend at the David Wright retirement?
Yeah, I think so. I had said I mentioned it a very long time ago on one of these shows earlier in the year. I had mentioned that I think there's a possibility they do that. And then the Mets and MLB dropped this video yesterday talking about the Met captains, and it's really just Wright narrating it and a couple of moments from Wright's career. And then they switch to Francisco Lindor. And it kind of seems like it's spoiling it. They're going to name him captain on Saturday, and that's going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. And good for him, because he deserves it. It's going to be such a special day.
Well,
I wish I was going.
Are you going to be disappointed if they don't?
At this point, I will be. I think, because I've heard this argument, well, wouldn't you want it to be Wright's day, right? Like, it's David Wright's day. So don't also add this. But I feel like David Wright's the kind of person that would want to be a part of the transfer of power here, having the honor to be there to greet him and give him basically this captainship. I feel like that would be something, if I was in David Wright's shoes, I would want to do that.
Yep. And he's that kind of guy. We all have seen Wright as just probably the biggest, as big of a class act as New York sports has ever had come through. Yep. So it wouldn't be a surprise at all if Wright wanted to do that. But now that they did do the video, I don't think that's a mistake that they put Lindor in the video. So it would be disappointing if they didn't, and it would be a little confusing if they didn't.
And now we have the real captain, shortstop of New York, New York, Francisco Lindor. Yes. No, we don't. Yes. I went blurry. See, he doesn't want me to say that. You know what? I got to say something also. And I know we'll talk about the All-Star game and everything. Everything about this All-Star game was unbelievable, from the production to everything. And the new World Series logo is really nice. That's a nerdy thing, but whatever. Hopefully my team's in it and I get to buy some merch. But I can't stand Derek Jeter. Every time I listen to that guy speak, I can't stand him. I really can't. He just seems like he thinks he's better than everybody else on this planet. You know what, Derek? Yeah, you're a Hall of Famer. Yeah, you have 3,000 hits. Yeah, you got a beautiful wife and dated supermodels, and you got a beautiful family and this and that. But please, can you stop with this I'm God attitude, especially when you're on Fox and you got two of the funniest guys in the world sitting next to you, and you sound like this A-Rod and David Ortiz having fun.
Sucks.
A-Rod is the man. He's the man.
And to your point, I think Jeter's terrible on Fox.
Terrible. He's terrible.
I'm a big Jeter guy, where you're just the biggest Jeter hater.
Couldn't be more of a Jeter
very
hater.
For very little reason.
Right.
But A-Rod is the biggest phony fraud on TV. I can't even listen to him speak. The way that he magically flipped the narrative between him and Jeter, don't think it's not going on behind the scenes. Like, A-Rod and Jeter still hate each other to this day.
Jeter has no reason to hate A-Rod.
I could just tell that neither of them really like each other. And the way that A-Rod has put on this act to just flip the script as if he wasn't one of the biggest jerks in baseball for 20 years has been incredible. It really has been.
Sorry, Derek Jeter, that another good-looking man that's better than you in every aspect of baseball came into your city onto your team, and you forced him to go play third base. I'm real sorry, Derek.
To do with it. Like, we act like A-Rod was just this saint of a guy, and he just did everything right for 20 years. No, but they have the first 4 without him.
I'm saying they don't have 09 without him.
And they probably don't. They probably have 04 without him. He was awful in that series.
Oh, now we're gonna blame him. Also, Aaron Boone would have been better. Aaron Boone would have been better coming off the ACL.
But we're gonna give A-Rod all this praise for 09 as if he was
always giving A-Rod praise.
It's like it's the only year he played for the team. He was great. He was a great player for the Yankees. A-Rod was
a Hall of Famer.
A-Rod has flipped the script in this media post-career life like no one I've ever seen before.
I love him. I can't,
because now Jeter did everything wrong in his entire career now. That's how fans look at him. Our age.
Well, when you look like that, when you act like an asshole, excuse my language, I mean, like, that's what it is.
And that's his personality, and that's why I just don't think he's good on TV. Because he's a very candid, confident, cocky athlete.
And then we got I loved this one. All right, guys, World Series predictions. And all 3 of them are guilty of this. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Jeter starts. Guys, I picked the Orioles last year because of their farm system. I didn't pick the Yankees this year. I'm not doing that. I'm picking the Yankees. He has Yankees, Cubs. And he mentioned Cashman. I know they still hate
called
each
out
other.
Cashman.
He called Cash. He goes, I know Cash is going to make some big moves. Whatever. He called him out. I found that hysterical.
You know what bothers me is I go to Twitter after that. I wish Jeter was our GM. All right, let's settle down.
Yeah.
Because I like Jeter. Huge Jeter guy. That's been well documented the last few weeks on this show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sign for the Jeter Mattingly era of Yankees baseball.
Let's go.
I cannot do that.
I mean,
Jeter did such a great job leaving the Marlins in just a perfect spot when he left.
We see exactly. You saw what happened with the Marlins. Let's add Jeter here. That's perfect.
Nothing that tells me he's a better general manager than Brian Cashman. But whatever. Yankee fans love him, and I love him, and I don't want him to be the GM.
That's good.
And you hate him.
You got to Brian. I cannot stand him. And then you got Poppy. Oh, Red Sox, Dodgers, and then A-Rod. I'm thinking he's going to give a nice professional answer. And he goes Yankees, Dodgers, as if that's going to happen.
What was yours when we did it the other day?
Tigers, Phillies.
Yeah. What did I have? I had Astros, Dodgers.
Yeah, you had Astros, Dodgers.
Yeah, I still feel that way. All right, Jeter's the greatest, best captain of the 21st century in New York.
It's terrible.
Move on to what else did we have to? First half, Mets and Yankees stuff, and then bridge it into the second half. What were the disappointments for you, the biggest surprises for you, just a couple, and then if you got like a guy to watch for the second half that you think is a big X factor for the team, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll say biggest surprise. I think how dominant David Peterson has looked, and just the way he has now solidified himself as one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's a good surprise, and I'm stoked. Disappointing, obviously. You would go Vientos. It's a sophomore slump, right? We've seen it before. We saw it with Corbin Carroll last year, the first half of the year, plus an injury. Vientos dealt with the injury. He just hasn't been good. And you're going to go Yankees, so I don't have to give Yankees, but I could give Yankees if you'd like.
Yeah, what do you got for the Yankees? I'll hear yours.
I think the biggest surprise for the Yankees for me, and I'm not going to go with the obvious that Aaron Judge is the greatest baseball player to ever walk the planet. I think mine would be how they were able to replace Juan Soto with two guys in Jazz and Cody. I'm not saying the offense is better, but the way those, and we talked about it last week, how these guys feel like Yankees, feel like you can't let them go. These three guys here with Judge, Cody, and Jazz, it feels right. As much as I can't stand Jazz, it feels right, and they're legit players. Except good job in the home run derby, but yeah.
And I'll just piggyback off that with the replacing Soto's production. I can't believe what they've gotten from both guys at first base this year with Rice and Goldschmidt. I was a Goldschmidt guy.
Yeah, you
but
were.
The fact that Rice is giving you the level of production that he is. He ends the first half with a 792 OPS. He's got 14 homers, 31 RBIs. I can't believe how good that platoon has been at first base when you're coming into a season where I know I banged the drum for Goldschmidt all offseason, but I didn't also say this guy's going to be a great Yankee for a year. Like I just thought it was the smart move economically for the team this season. And now you're actually getting production. I'm shocked at what this platoon has been able to do this year at first base.
Yeah, especially the way it started. I mean, with the way that started, it was like, holy crap, like they hit the lottery here. But obviously they both came back down to earth, but it's still been great production. And I think another surprise for me is a kind of a disappointment. It's the obvious, but when you saw what Volpe was able to do in the postseason last year, offensively, you're like, okay, maybe he's going to take those next steps, and he just hasn't. And you sent me a very interesting part of an article this morning, which pretty shocking. I think that's pretty shocking that we're at this point already with him. And if you want to read that.
Yeah, it was this morning. Randy Miller had been told by an anonymous Yankee scout, George Lombard Jr. is probably their future shortstop. Volpe would get pushed to second. Now, a couple things with that. I don't know how that would work because Jazz, I think, has to be the second baseman, but whatever.
Yeah.
The idea that they're already thinking internally about replacing Volpe.
Yep.
And maybe not getting him off the team, but finding a different shortstop in Lombard, who has been playing more third base, but can play shortstop, as has been documented. That's really telling about where they're at with Volpe, because the Yankee fans, including myself, a lot of us just think they give him the free pass every day on playing, and they don't give him any tough love. And I will, till the day I die, believe that he should have been playing AAA at some point the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But they're clearly recognizing, which obviously they are because they're not complete idiots, that Volpe is not a very good baseball player.
Yeah, that's big. I remember reading that they were going to start. I think they moved him up or something towards the beginning of the year, Lombard.
Mm-hmm.
And they had said he's going to play more shortstop, but I didn't read into that. I'm like, all right, whatever. He's going to play shortstop. He's going to play both. That's not crazy. And now for it to be, this is why.
Yeah.
Kind of shocking.
And when we're talking young guys, my, nice surprise and then 2 disappointments with the Mets for the first half. The 2 disappointments you can merge into one with Vientos and Alvarez. Just neither of them able to take any sort of a step. Vientos 2 steps back in this. And then I know it's a kind of a casual surprise, but Edwin Diaz is just lights out, man. Like I did not expect him to return to this dominant number one closer in baseball, because really right now I need 3 outs. There's not a guy in baseball I'd rather have.
Yep.
And he has just returned to that form, which could not be a bigger storyline for the Mets this year and their success.
Yeah, it's tough. I interviewed Howie Rose for the School last year, and we were talking about Edwin Diaz, and he had said, it's almost impossible to expect Edwin to get back to anything close to what he was in 2022. And if he could get close to that, that's a win. And there were at times last year where he was close to that guy, but he was a little inconsistent throughout some points of the year. This season, though, this is the closest we have seen to 2022 Edwin Diaz, and it's been special. It's been special to watch. He truly has been a godsend for this team and one of the best relievers, if not the best closer in baseball so far.
And when we look at, the difference between the Yankees and Mets this year, the difference is probably that closer spot, right? And the Yankees and a lot of the top first place teams, where I mentioned run differential before, the Yankees have more than double the run differential of the Mets this year, but they have a worse record and they feel like a far worse team. And I think that has a lot to do with the amount of games blown in the 8th and 9th innings, because Devin Williams has been one of those disappointments for the Yankees in the first half. Despite showing signs of life the last month, Luke Weaver really struggled when he came back from that injury 3 weeks ago. So closer spot, having Diaz, it just makes such a world of difference for these teams. And think about how many games the Dodgers have lost in the bullpen this year, thinking they had the lockdown closer because of Tanner Scott early in the season. So they might be the first team to 60 wins if they had a guy like Diaz. Having that is just a world of difference for a contender.
You're fully back on the Devin Williams train, though, I had seen.
I am back on the Williams train. I don't know if I'm back on him being the elite closer, but I'm back on him being a top trustworthy relief pitcher.
Okay.
High leverage relief guy.
He looks good. I think I would be back. I mean, it's tough to trust him. It's big time trust issues with these guys, but
it is. And of course, we mentioned it a couple times already today. In this seller's market, there's going to be half the league buying. He's not an asset the Yankees could afford to lose. He's probably an asset that the Yankees could actually get a lot for if they wanted to trade him. They're not going to. But funny how that turned around in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if they freaking moved him. That'd be something.
We spoke, not to move away from Yankees Mets, we can go back to it, but we spoke a little bit about the Red Sox when we did Monday's show and their 10-game win streak going into the break. They could not have had the break at a worse time. I mean, you win 10 straight, and I was thinking about it for the Red Sox. Is it better to win 10 straight and then go into the break feeling great, or is it better, or is it just way worse? Is it just a horrible thing to go into the break after 10 straight? And then you look at that schedule after they have the hardest strength of schedule the rest of the way. You look at that schedule right after the All-Star break, you wish you were playing that 11th day in a row or 11th day out of 12 after winning 10 straight against these teams, because they got a gauntlet over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's good. At least you get to rest the bullpen, rest of these starters a little bit, line it up, Crochet. Bello, Giolito have been great. I saw this morning Ken Rosenthal named Charlie Morton as a possible target for them. They're going to need pitching in the bullpen. They're going to need pitching in that starting rotation. They could be dangerous. They would scare me a little bit, but I don't know. I think resting these guys, which is not a strength. I understand staying hot, this and that, but with your strength not being in your pitching staff, it's good to get these guys a little rest. Go right into it. I think this is a good team. I think they believe they're a good team, and it shouldn't really ruin things here. You go into the stretch now and go play good ball.
No, it shouldn't. And right now they feel like a playoff team. They're obviously in the second wild card, but they don't feel like they're going to fall out of that. I think that the 6 teams that are in the AL playoffs are going to end up being the 6 teams in the postseason.
Let me see.
It's Detroit, Houston, Toronto, Yankees, Red Sox, Mariners. And then Tampa's first team out. I can see Tampa jumping Seattle, but other than that, I really can't see anything else.
I feel very good about that. I think Tampa will jump Seattle.
The only reason I'd take them to be the first team out is because this AL East is going to be a tough place to play the second half of the season, and I think one of these teams are going to have to miss.
I could see Texas. I don't think they're going to be the team, but I could see Texas being tough on Seattle later in the year. Obviously, Houston's been great. So I don't think you have an easy division there either. It's not as difficult as the AL East, but I think it could be a little difficult for the Mariners.
Yeah, agree. And Houston's really good, so
they're very good.
That's you see the first stud.
You see the Rays; they're gonna be playing those games at Steinbrenner.
Yes.
They make postseason.
Yeah, which I think is good.
Potential World Series games,
which I think is good because let's think about it for a second financially. If you play that game in Atlanta, if you play it in, what were the other places mentioned? It was Miami, Atlanta,
Texas,
and then Texas was the other one. How many are you? I don't know. Are you going to sell out the building? Are the Rays going to sell out playoff games at a high enough ticket price to actually justify? Because they're going to sell out Steinbrenner. I have no idea.
It wouldn't be Rays fans. That's the problem. It wouldn't be Rays fans.
Exactly. So, but is a Braves fan go? Because like you or me, if the Yankees or Mets weren't in the playoffs, but the Rays were, and they were playing at Citi Field, and the ticket was $25, we might go.
Yeah, I might go. If playoff game, I might go.
I'd really consider going to that. Mm-hmm. If it was Rays Astros at Citi Field on a Saturday, like you're definitely considering going to that. But then put it in Atlanta or Miami. And then are you saying, the ticket prices probably have to be $10 or $15 a piece for the entire upper section.
Right.
Is it worth the cost? Can you justify the cost of the games being played if they sell 75% of them instead of 100? I don't think you can.
Yeah, but it's just fitting 12,000 in that ballpark.
And for Tampa, ownership is about to sell that team anyways after the season. That deal's almost done.
Yeah.
And if not already, and they just have to wait till the season ends. But they're about to sell that team. They're not cashing in on a postseason run anyways because money has to go to Major League Baseball. Money has to go to the owner of Atlanta first, to the ownership group of the stadium that they play at. So if I'm the owner or decision maker in Tampa, I'm just saying we want to play here. This is where our fans are going to be. We're definitely going to sell it out. We've been playing here all season. This is where the players live. And the players and the managers and the general managers are just going to say the same thing. They're going to say, we want to play here.
It makes sense. It does. And it obviously wasn't them fighting or not fighting, but pushing to have those games moved. It was Major League Baseball that, floated the idea out there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bad look, though. It's a really bad look. I mean, I know there's nothing they could have done. I mean, a hurricane took the roof off, but it's still a bad look.
It's terrible reflection on ownership that the entire situation happened. And thank God they're getting sold because...
Yeah.
And you can't expect the new owners to come in and spend or anything, but maybe they run it more like a Major League Baseball team instead of a minor league team.
Ken Rosenthal article this morning, he said, watch out for them and Tucker if this gets through.
Yeah. Because I think it could be one of those situations where like the owners they like double the spending, which would go, make them a bottom 10 payroll in the league anyways.
Yeah.
But and doubling the spending in Tampa would be massive.
Yeah,
Like,
you
that
guys
would be a huge.
that division would be
Adding 40 million to that payroll would be insane. So
no, I mean, you might as well
I
not
think
play
it's gonna be like
games. That
that.
division will be over.
No way, not with us on it.
No,
Yankees are in the division. They're in the same division.
no.
Are you confused? I don't know. You might be confused.
Maybe the Sox.
No, come on.
Well,
NL
I know.
playoffs though. NL playoffs.
All in on the Sox.
NL playoffs. I'm looking through the teams, and does it feel like the 6 here are also going to stay? Because it's Dodgers, Cubs, Phillies, Mets, Brewers, Padres. First out are Giants, Cardinals, Reds. I think that order of teams, those 1 through 6 seeds, are probably how I'd literally power rank the NL right now.
Yes, I would agree. I think the Giants have that chance, though, to overtake the Padres here a little bit. Because the Padres haven't been healthy in that rotation, and what are guys going to look like when they come back? They're 18-31 against teams over 500, the Padres. So I think the Padres are a little fraudy. Their run differential is only 7. So I don't know. I kind of believe in the Giants a little bit more. I think the Brewers are going to win the division.
I think they are too.
I think the Brewers are going to win the Central.
I started teasing it on Monday. But this Brewers team, I'm in on them.
You might be all in.
I'm in on Pat Murphy. I'm in on the Brew Crew, and
you just gotta hope they don't play the Mets in the first round. That's it.
Think about this potential. What if the Brewers get Suarez? They need a third baseman. What if they get Suarez? What if they get McMahon and they add? I know the 2 totally different players, but. What if they add the third baseman? Nobody's talking about Milwaukee right now. They need a third baseman. They're right on the heels of the 1 seed in the NL.
I know.
They're 2 games behind the Dodgers.
I know.
They are a team here that I would be really concerned about.
Send a decent sized prospect over. He's a rental, so it's not like we talked about it before. It's not going to be this massive deal. He's a rental.
The Brewers are good.
That's a good point. Mike. That's a good point out of you. The Brew Crew might be here to do some damage.
They've won 7 straight going into the break, too. Everybody wants to discuss the Red Sox 10 straight, and rightfully so. Brewers are on a 7-game win streak.
Including a sweep of the Dodgers.
They're in a division that's very competitive, but much easier than the rest of the field, I think. Yeah. You know, when we're talking about the East and West in the NL still. And the Cubs, I don't trust the Cubs to go in at the deadline. I think Milwaukee makes the move in the division.
That'd be interesting. I think the Cubs are going to make a move, but I think the Brewers could too. They swept the Dodgers. Remember that? They swept the Dodgers right before the break. The series before. They swept the Dodgers at home. This team it's a death year. Bob Uecker passed away. It's a death year for them.
Death year.
It's big. Yep. This is big.
And I'm just pulling up their stats right now because my guy Caleb Durbin too. As I pull up their stats, he's all right.
He's been okay.
Big last week or 2 for them. But they have. I'm just pulling up I'm trying to get their prospects here. Because they've got a lot of really young prospects. Okay.
Yeah.
Besides Miz, they're all 20, 27, 28 guys. But yeah, why don't they step up as the team to go and get? They have 2 of their top 3 prospects are 2028 third baseman. So
trade one of them.
Send one of them to Arizona.
Who cares?
Let's roll. Let's go. They're both 18 years old. Let's go, Brew Crew. Get in on this.
Can I bring up something totally massively random?
Yes.
Did you see this? Did you see this incident at the Coldplay concert last night?
Yes.
How insane. Are you kidding me?
That's really bad, man.
That's really bad. Apparently, the PR director was the other woman that was sitting there on the screen.
Oh,
or the HR, sorry, the HR director.
HR,
yeah. HR director.
Dude, I mean, if that's all true,
that's insane.
Because you're not even. This is the problem with that, is you're at the show, and Coldplay does this at every concert. And you don't have to know that when you go. Right. But you are a person of note. People recognize that guy right away.
Bad look. Yeah,
And
it was
it's a
instant.
big company. So immediately one of the goons at the company, that's our HR director. That's bad look.
Awesome.
Really bad.
That was awesome.
Oh,
And they didn't even try and
they
play
knew
it
right
off
away.
either. They didn't even try and play it off.
You see the reaction he has? He gets down on the ground and he crawls out of the suite.
It's insane.
Oh, man.
Like, at least try and play it off a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know what's true and what's not true. Apparently, based on Twitter, which is 99% false,
Yeah.
his wife on Facebook and Instagram and everything already changed all of her last names back.
What do you mean?
Like, instead of using her married name, she switched back to her maiden name
Okay.
already.
Okay. That's
And I don't know if that's true or not. Like, someone could have just AI'd it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But that guy's cooked.
Interesting.
Really bad. And did you hear Chris Martin from Coldplay on the stage?
I did hear a little bit. I
forget what he said, but you could tell right away he knew, like, exactly.
He's like, oh, that's an affair or something.
He knew right away exactly what happened. And they just
really
moved on to the next person.
Have you ever been to a Coldplay concert?
No, I want to go, though.
I want to go so badly.
Well,
They'll be in Madison, Wisconsin this weekend.
Oh, all right. Perfect.
If you want to head out, $400.
We go to a Brewers game.
Oh, Great American
What
Ballpark.
a weekend. What a weekend.
Oh, that's American. Wait, is that American Family Field or Great American? I think it's American Family Field. Great American Cincinnati.
Yes, American Family Field.
Yep.
Brew Crew. All right. I don't really have anything else to talk about today. Let's see. What else do I have?
I just thought everything about the All-Star game was unbelievable.
All-Star game.
I
skipped a couple of the middle innings when it was 6-0. But what a great game. What a great game.
Yeah, I mean, everything Aaron Boone touches goes to crap. I mean, it is what it is. No, I'm kidding.
He was the sole reason that they were in that game. What a great job managing that to where they got.
The swing off was great. I saw your video this morning about how maybe they should implement it. I am really, and I said this on Mic'd Up yesterday. I'm seriously, I would be okay with it. After the 10th inning. After the 10th inning.
I think it would have to be I'd say after the 11th, but it would be like an NHL shootout in the regular season. Like, we just don't want to keep playing the game anymore. The players don't want to keep playing it anymore. You had a chance to win it. And I'd get rid of the ghost runner. And the 10th and 11th inning, you have a chance. I'd get rid of the ghost runner for the 10th and 11th. And after that, three guys swing off. And I mean, just as a Yankee fan, I'm like, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, good night. Good game.
Not Jazz. Not Jazz.
Not Jazz. Not Jazz. But what's funny, too, is, well, first of all, I'll preface with this. The only disappointing thing about the swing off is it doesn't end up being Judge, Vlad, and Raleigh versus, Pete, Schwarber, and Ohtani.
It's funny because
the
National League had two of the guys that if you could pick them.
The American League had none. Which, I don't know if who was still there. I know Judge and Ohtani were seemingly gone by the time that happened. And I'm sure Vlad and Raleigh were too. But that would have just been insane if you got all those guys. And that's what it would be in the regular season. Like, you're not risking a game by putting Volpe, Goldschmidt, and Jazz up there. Like, you're putting Judge, Stanton, Bellinger. You're putting Alonso, Soto, and Vientos or somebody who would be the Mets third guy. Like, I don't think Lindor would be, would he?
That's interesting. I don't know.
That's a good question, right? It would definitely be Soto, Alonso.
Maybe Mauricio. And
then you'd have like a ballpark factor. We're at Fenway. I'm not going to put the lefties out.
Yeah.
We're going to put Alonso. We're going to put.
They got to do this. They have to
Vientos.
do this. There's
a strategy involved. And think about the next day. The next day talk the morning after of, oh my God, can you believe Mendoza put McNeil in second in this? And he went 0 for 3. And after the game, Mendoza, I just love the way Jeff's swinging the bat. We wanted to give him a shot.
That's more of a Boone. It's right there in front of us.
He is Boone. Right, he's literally Boone. He is Boone.
No, he's the better version of Boone. Ask Judge. He'll tell you that.
I don't think the swing off in the regular season is as crazy as people are going to say. I would say no to it right away, But if you do 10th, 11th inning, no Manfred ghost runner,
Yes.
and then you just say, all right, these guys play 162 games a year. Can't use these bullpen arms anymore. Assistant coaches, get out here, swing off. And think about live in person. That would be sick.
So cool. So cool. Come on, let's do it, Rob. Do it. Be useful,
Do it.
Rob. I saw this guy call the fan up yesterday. He goes, it's like if they sent the kickers out and they just started doing 35-yard field goals to win. I'm like, not even close. Not even close.
Remember your boy Russ had that idea? Do you remember that? Russell Wilson?
He did?
Russ said instead of, well, it was different because he said you play the full overtime. And then instead of the tie, both kickers have to go out. And he said he was also tying it in as this is a way to up the value of kicker contracts and kickers on your team and special teams. He said the kickers go out alone with a holder.
Yeah.
Like there's no rush or anything. And you got to kick from 30 yards, 40. 45, and then 60.
Okay.
And you have the kickers decide the win instead of a tie at the end of the game.
Interesting. Well, look at Russ looking out for everybody else. That's the kind of guy he is. Selfless, great teammate, great player.
Yep.
And he'll be locked in, ready to go for this season. Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's better than a tie.
Only thing disappointing about the swing off was that Alonso didn't get to go.
I know. I was like, Aranda, please hit one. Just hit one, Aranda.
You knew Pete was going to hit at least one.
Pete was going to hit at least one, and then he had his MVP, Rob, which I actually didn't care about. Like, I actually still don't even care about it, even though apparently they changed, like, they took this out of the rule book. Did you see this? So in the rule book, whatever happened in the swing off was not supposed to affect who the MVP of the game was.
Okay.
It was supposed to be separate. And then by the next day, they had taken that line out of the rule book.
You know, that's fine with me though, because who is looking at that All-Star game and talking about anybody other than Schwarber? Just it was first time, it was a historic moment.
I was talking about David Peterson getting Aaron Judge to ground out to shortstop, which was Lindor who threw the first to Alonso.
I was thinking of Rodon just carving through the NL lineup in the second inning.
How about Diaz blowing the save? That was really on him. I didn't even get a blown save for that. It's not really not even him.
No, it's not on him. Inherited runners.
It was on Suarez. Yeah, it was on Suarez.
It's on Suarez. And how about the freaking White Sox kid with a 5 ERA has to play in the game and he breaks Suarez's hand?
Yeah, that guy was on my fantasy team for 2 weeks. He's terrible.
That is, you mentioned it before. I didn't really harp on that point too much, but you mentioned it in the 3 or 4 episodes we did before this. The fact that every team needs a guy in the game is just an awful. That's an NHL rule. The NHL does that, and it's just terrible.
It's a joke. Although I was talking crap on Kyle Stowers, and Kyle Stowers actually shut me up. He had a great week. OPS is great, and he hit the big homer in the swing off.
Big homer in the swing off.
That was huge.
And the AL, it was funny, all like the punt tweets after and stuff, but that was just a brutal trio of guys that.
Yeah, the only other guy that he could have sent up that would have been like a little better was Witt, I think. Witt was still there. Yeah. So he could have sent Witt up instead of Aranda.
And then I also think there's a merit in, I don't know if this was a mindset at all for these guys, but I think you're also saying we give all the light to the starters and the MVP candidates. Like, let's give these 3 guys a moment here, Rooker, Rosarena, and Aranda, because they really don't get enough. Like, Aranda especially has not got enough shine at all this season.
He's been unbelievable.
Then he goes 0 for 3 in the swing off.
He's been great this year. Rosarena is a guy that would have been considered in any scenario because he's been in the home run derby. He's had success. I think a Rosarena would have. He's clutch. He's shown that clutch gene his entire career. I think he always would have gotten consideration, even if Judge and Dumper and Vlad were available.
Yep, and it's a lefty stadium too, so the AL only had the one guy to say. Like, Schwarber just feasted. Yeah, that right
that
field.
1/466. That thing was
and once he hit the first one, you were like, he's definitely hitting all 3 out.
I didn't think so. I thought
built. Talk about a guy who was born for the All-Star Game swing-off. Kyle Schwarber.
I'm sitting there.
Born for it.
I had money on the National League. So that's one of the sickest ways I've ever closed
that's
cashed out a bet. That's insane. And I'm sitting over here, and I'm like, Please, Kyle. I love you, Kyle. Please. Meanwhile, Kyle Schwarber is my least favorite player in the game right now. And I'm like, come on, Kyle. Please, let's go.
I was thinking of you when I'm watching Schwarber and Alonso like hugging at the end, and it's just this great moment.
Throw up, but I was in the moment. I was great. I was like, after the fact, I'm like, oh my god.
He's a free agent this offseason too. I'm pretty sure Schwarber.
He is. Go grab him. Go steal him.
Yeah. Well, we already have a DH. Thanks.
No, the Mets.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant Yankees.
You're getting rid of 2 DHs.
You have a DH too, Soto. You literally have a DH for the next 15 years.
Okay.
That's
Could you
what I was
imagine
told.
that? Could you imagine that lineup?
Also, I didn't, maybe I'm a casual. But then we'll go into our lineup fantasy with the Mets with Schwarber. But I didn't realize how great his year was this year.
Schwarber?
Yeah, I knew he was the best hitter on the Phillies this season. But I haven't checked his stats in probably 4 or 5 weeks before the All-Star break.
He was better. He not cooled down, but he just came a little bit back down to earth. The numbers were better.
Because OPS 923. I didn't think he'd be even near that. And
no,
he's insane.
He's legit. He's a legit player. All right, imagine this: Nimmo, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Schwarber, Vientos, McNeil, Alvarez. There's no stopping that. You cannot stop that.
No, you can't.
That is the best. That might be the greatest lineup of all time.
No, it's not.
That could be.
But it would be the best lineup in baseball.
I'm dreaming of that right now. Oh, you have to bring Alonso back and you have to sign Schwarber. Come on, let's do it. You have the pitchers coming up.
Byron me Schwarber.
Byron me Schwarber.
Wait,
no, I can think of something.
You just do Kyle Bile Schwarber.
Call me Kyle.
No.
Call up Kyle. No.
You got a few months to work on it.
Buy me a Schwarbomb.
Nope.
Fuck. All right, we'll think of it.
Yeah, but great All-Star game, great stuff. Maybe we push the introduction of the swing off into regular season baseball.
Yep, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get it done.
How about Schwarber's 2023 too? Well, I just have his stats up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hit 197. His OPS was 800. 47 home runs, 104 RBIs.
Yep.
It's one of the best production seasons from a DH in recent memory. Hits 197.
Yep. What was OPS again? Sorry.
It was 815.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Top 20 MVP finisher. Sure. Last thing is my claim to being a great general manager is 2020 offseason after the COVID year, or was it?
I remember this. You wanted the Yankees to sign him.
Yeah, I said the only 2 guys that need to sign this offseason are Kyle Schwarber and Marcus Semien. It's like 2 1-year deals. You're gonna get good production from both of them, and they go and they get IKF and Josh Donaldson.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Literally
and Schwarber led the league in home runs, and Semien was top 3 MVP finish.
Literally the same thing.
Same thing. And all my friends that
Schwarber should have been a Yankee. I mean, made so much sense.
Easy. It was so easy. They needed a first baseman, and he was still playing first base at the time. But all my friends used to rip me because I'd say just play Semien at short or at second. You could play him anywhere in the middle infield, wherever Torres isn't playing. That was the conversation. So it was probably shortstop. Yeah. And they'd be like, no, Semien can't play there. All right. Well, then we had fun getting absolutely rolled over by him for an entire season in Toronto. Let me run this team.
I think we're good.
Let me run this team.
Go run the Jets, although Muji's doing a good job.
No, I don't want to touch the Jets right now. They're cooking.
Great. Let's go.
I can't touch them right now. They're on fire.
They just don't have one thing.
Outside linebacker.
Quarterback. Okay. They don't have a quarterback.
I did not think you were going to go there.
They have a running back playing quarterback.
No. He's different this year, bro. He's different this year. He changed his throwing motion. SNY posted it.
I posted my own top 10 New York athlete list. And on SNY's page, I got a lot of hate.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
I got 6.3 thousand views, but I'm getting hate.
Yeah, you're getting ripped for that. I saw it late last night.
I'm like, oh my god.
I thought it was
this guy
a good
goes shit list.
What'd you think of your versus JM's baseball list on Hardline? If you haven't seen it, it's collabed on the Instagram, BTO Instagram, plus the Hardline Instagram. You can check it out. Mike and JM's top 10 players.
I had like 5 people come up to me yesterday and say that list was awful, but I liked it.
I thought your list was better.
Thank you.
I thought your list was a better list. I would change maybe a few things, but like very marginal.
Yeah, I'm into it. I also think like Ohtani's pitching now.
Yep.
And he's still been great offensively. The 3 pitchers have been unbelievable. And then I know Riley seems a little low, but he's having a great year and he's a catcher, and I get that he's been good defensively. The OPS isn't where Judge's is. I think 6 is a good spot. Like, those 3 pitchers have been unbelievable.
Yeah, and I know that JM loves Bobby Witt. That has become
Loves Bobby Witt.
And Bobby Witt's the prototypical 5-tool superstar. But I mean, again, 30 GMs. Who do they want on their team tomorrow? Bobby Witt or Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah,
you're getting 30 Shohei Ohtanis.
Yep,
100%. But both lists have their respectable qualities. Like, they both have the right number 1, and then that's where it really ends.
By the end of the year, I think there's going to be a new number 1. But yeah. See what Passan said about my guy?
No. Maybe.
Says Soto's going to lead the league in home runs in the second half.
Yeah, but that's not overall. So
no, it probably will be with the tear that he's about to go on.
What does he have, 23 right now?
Yeah. Probably finish the year with 50, something like that.
No, I heard it's gonna he might not get 30. That's the rumor.
I can't wait. I'm sick of this freaking All-Star break, man. This sucks.
I am too. This is awful. They should have started games today.
Yeah, at least some of them.
All of them.
Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens are in the Hamptons, right by you. So if you want to
nice. Not really by me. Still 2-hour drive, but
it's 2 hours from you.
Yeah, it's Hall. No traffic. You might get there in an hour 40.
Go say hi if you want.
No, I'm not gonna. I'll just say hi to him when he's a Yankee in 3 weeks.
In your dreams.
They should really try and trade him.
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, they should, but I don't think they're going to.
Hate to say it, they should really try to trade him.
Maybe they're going to spend some money.
No, they're not.
Just maybe.
They're not. Let's wrap it up there. That's when it's starting to get ludicrous.
Yeah, Pirates
Good
spending money.
Episode 65. Appreciate everybody watching, listening. You can check it out afterwards on Apple or Spotify. Make sure to check out the Hardline on Instagram, YouTube, Hardline Sports Talk, back Mike and JM, and the Playbook with Gabe Zoda. No Good Takes, Giuseppe Oliveri, and we'll have more mic'd up, more bunker content, solo podcasts from the two of us coming in the next week. And I don't know when we're doing our next episode of this. Mike's going away next week.
Away next week.
So I don't know when we'll do our next episode, but I have content lined up for our baseball people for next week, podcasts lined up. So with or without Mike, we're going to have some stuff. And then I'm going away the week after, but we'll figure out times to do trade deadline stuff and everything. So stay tuned on the Instagram and TikTok, especially for majority of the content. And we will see you in the next one at some point next week.